And welcome to Batman Radio, the greatest radio show of all time. You're tuned in with your host, the one and only true Batman, Tyrese Need. All right. So real quick, I just want to speak on this Frisco track meet situation. Okay. Now, first of all, when I speak on issues, it's for an actual purpose, which is to hopefully help, you know what I mean? Um, and hopefully give a positive word of encouragement as hard as this situation is. I want to point out a couple of things. Number one, I honestly believe and think that they should create a budget, right? And basically pay Batman to come to these schools and speak, right, publicly, right, so that all the students can hear, so that, you know, they can get Batman's take on things and get a little bit of, life advice so they can go the right direction, because that's what it's all about, is trying to steer the youth in the right direction, because we have enough people who don't care, right? We have enough people trying to lead them the wrong direction. And what they need is a real role model. You know what I mean? That's the truth. They need a real role model. They need somebody to look up to, and they need somebody to tell them how life works and how things work. I'm pretty honestly, I don't know any of these people, obviously, or I don't really know the situation that well, but it's pretty saddening, man. I mean, it made me sad, literally. I mean, it's a pretty sad situation when you're looking at this football star who, like I said, had everything going for him. He had good grades, they said. What was his? I think they said, I don't know, he was like an A student, basically. I think he had a 4.0 GPA. Um, was a football star. He was a linebacker. Um, like sounded like he was probably one of the best linebackers, if not the best in his division. They said he was a leader. They said, everybody had nothing but love for him, and it's just sad, man. It's truly is sad that, what's even sadder about it, the fact that it's not that surprising. You know what I mean? You know why it's not surprising? Because I just see the trend, I guess, because of what I go through on a daily basis and what I've been through. I understand what's out there in the world. I guess part of being Batman, right? I have more know-how as to what's out in the world, and that there's a lot of evil in the world. There's a lot of evil people, and I think this was a completely evil thing to do. Personally, I mean, they're sitting there talking about the false information and misinformation on the case needs to stop. I agree. I mean, when is the misinformation and false information going to stop on me, though? Right? And me being a public figure, and what about me and my reputation that I've had to protect by myself, which I've done a great job at. You know what I mean? I'm good. I'm Gucci. But my whole point is, it only becomes an issue when it's, in middle America, and these things happen in these certain territories, and that's unfair and it's kind of odd. And this happened in Texas, right? Frisco, Texas, which I've never really heard of, but that's where they said it happened. I guess it's around Fort Worth, Dallas area, because that was where the news report was as far as the internet and YouTube. Um, but I think personally, I think it was 100% intentional. That's just my opinion. I think that dude just had it out for anybody who got in his path. I think that he was just upset about everything. And I think he was just, a spiteful, hateful person. That's just what it looks like. And it just looks like, he was waiting for that moment, and, probably already having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month or a couple of bad years. And I think he just picked that opportunity. And I'm going to say almost that it might have been targeted, because, I mean, when you look at the spectrum of who this guy was, as far as being a linebacker and all these things, and, he was getting college offers to play, if it's called D1 or whatever, to play football. I mean, you can't tell me that didn't have something to do with it. You can't convince me that that didn't drive away at this dude when he did what he did, because this is what these narcissists do. And I'm going to bet that if you do a mental eval, which, y'all don't know how to do properly, right? like I probably know way more than the psychologist, but the point is, I mean, I could sit down and talk to someone and within 5 minutes figure out if they're a narcissist or not. And I'm willing to bet that he's a narcissist. Why do I say that? Because it's what narcs do, man. They target the top dog. Look at me and all I've been through. You see, had that guy who's the linebacker, what's his name, Austin Metcalf, I believe. If he had known the things that I know, he would have been in a better position to try to deal with that situation. He probably would have never put himself in the situation to begin with, right? Now, things happen, man. People get into it with people. That's why I try to be real careful and cautious now, right? And like I'm Batman, so I mean, I've been in a ton of stuff in my life, much more than anyone you'll ever meet. I can guarantee you that. I've gotten into it a million times and never really had a problem, right? Or a problem that I couldn't handle. But that's also why Batman wears a bulletproof vest or steel armor, right? Because you know you can't play games when it comes to protecting yourself. This is what people got to understand. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, like I have off days and stuff, and I don't really worry, you know what I mean? But you have to be wary, man. Like I'm always trying to watch my surroundings, bro. You know what I mean? Because you just never know. You never know who's who. You never know what they're on. You never know what's going on with them. You never know what they might be actually taking. You never know if they're high. You don't know what their issue is. You don't know what angers them. You don't know where they're coming from, right? And people just got to understand you cannot underestimate anybody, man. You just can't. You know what I mean? And I think that I don't know. I don't know if the energy might have been a little bit different before the incident happened, right? I don't know. I mean, he was a linebacker. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a man and being a tough guy. He's not doing anything wrong in that. He's not doing anything wrong by standing his ground. I don't care if they did get into it. He still hasn't done anything wrong. If anything, it sounds like he probably did the right thing standing up to the dude, right? But I think this is just a guy that we're dealing with that doesn't understand reality like most of these narcs and probably doesn't care. The only thing he cares about is himself. He's going to care about his punishment. And this is the society that you've created. It's called preconditioning, I call it. Okay. And this is the environment that you create when you do all this preconditioning through social media and everything, all this programming like television programming, that oblong box in the corner of the room is the most thing in existence because it literally transfers images to the subconscious. And the collective conscious means that we're all connected through our subconsciousness. So whatever images are filtered through our subconscious mind makes it that much more likely to happen in reality, right? They say I talk real fast, but if you listen, I ain't got to slow down so you can keep up, right? So again, understand you're hearing a genius talking. The point is this, okay? I'm not showing off. I'm being real with you. These are things that society and people need to learn, and it's applicable 100% to this event. I just feel sorry for the brother, man. I feel sorry for the brother, like truly, with what he went through, what he endured, what he had to see. Um, it's just sad, man. It's genuinely sad to see, sad to watch. And I just wish that, I wish that it wasn't like this, personally, honestly, even though I don't know him. Um, but it's a very sad event, you know, and this is part of the reason why I created the Batman thing because I want to hopefully be able to stop things like this from happening. It's kind of like Minority Report, except I'd be using intuition, my intuition as a gift to just hopefully be in the right place at the right time to be like security without technically being security, probably, but to be able to protect people and save lives, you know. And had you had security there, mind you, I want to point that out, you would have had a much better outcome, right? It would have never happened. 9 times out of 10, it would have never happened or it would have been prevented. The guy he would have thought twice before he, did what he did, because there'd be more people around and there'd be security, right? And it sends a response when you have a security there. Now, if Batman was there, that would be enough response for him to I can guarantee you he wouldn't do it. Straight up. I can guarantee you, if there was a Batman, if I was there and I was in my whole bat suit, I can guarantee you he wouldn't pull that stunt. No, he wouldn't. Not. I'm telling you, if you have like an actual bat suit on, like protective bat suit, and you're Batman and you're standing there, people are gonna think twice before they act crazy. All that, wanna be tough stuff goes out the window when Batman's around. Seriously. And my point is, I'm not on that trying to be tough stuff. It has nothing to do with that. But it just has to do with the fact that, you know, I mean, to me is a matter that wherever they held the track meet, they dropped the ball. Not so much the people or the parents or anyone like that, but why didn't they have security right there? And why? What? And this is the thing: you go to these places, you go to these events, and it shows what I talk about. See, I don't whine and complain. You people do. No, I point out the truth that everywhere we go, people are unprofessional. People have a chip on their shoulder. People are odd and weird. They don't know how to do anything. They don't know how to go about doing anything the right way. So it's like, I literally have to point these things out so that people can understand, basic reality. Because if not, it'll just basically remain the same and be the same exact position over and over and over again, right? Which, leads to results like this because, like I said, they had no security there. It doesn't seem like, not at least not around where they should have been doing their job, right? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, had I been actually working security there or something, I could have maybe prevented it and helped. You know what I mean? But I think the dude was just on a mission, man. You feel me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the dude was just on a mission to, do whatever the hell he needed to do. You feel me? I think he was on a mission to do what he wanted to do. And I think he was set on doing exactly that. And I think that's just what was going to happen no matter how you figure it. You feel me? I think he was just waiting for the right time. And I think he was going to pick his target basically. And I think that's what happened. And I think his eyes probably lit up like a flying saucer when he saw this linebacker dude. I have a feeling he knew who he was. And I think the guy just said, you know, here's the opportunity. You know what I mean? And what I mean by the opportunity is I think he just wanted to drag somebody down to his level. That's what I think. Because and then, like they said, they're not questioning that family. They need to question his family as to how they failed to raise, their son because he's the whole problem. He's what's wrong with the world. And check this out. I'm going to show you something even worse, okay? And this is the part that they don't investigate and look into, okay? How do you know that this dude, okay, just because he's young doesn't mean nothing, okay? You got YouTube videos, okay, showing 15-year-olds, okay, getting like life sentences, okay, doing like 30 plus years in jail for the highest crime you could possibly commit, okay? Age is out the window as far as committing crimes. As a matter of fact, like usually the younger ones, or whatever y'all want to call them, they're the worst ones. And that's the reality in this world. That's why I have no respect for these people on YouTube because they have their agenda that makes no sense and they're all delusional and they try to push their agenda on other people. But this is the reality. And the reality is so opposite of what you say. And then you get proved wrong and then you don't have anything to say. So why open your mouth at all? It's just like when you take these actions and you do and say things, but then you don't stand on your actions and what you claim to believe. Like that's corny. And I'm gonna get into that in a minute too, because I'm about to go completely in on Tone Space today, because I'm tired of hearing your nonsense and your rambling delusion. And I'm gonna go ahead and put you in your place verbally on here today, okay, and get that out the way. Don't worry. But let me finish talking about this first. Okay. So you had the whole thing, right? And this is the thing. Number one, why is everyone so angry? That's the first question. Why is everyone so mad? And I guess it's something that comes with age. I'm not really mad like that anymore, you know. Oh, and trust me, I mean, I have my anger, but I use it as a tool, as power. I harness it like Darth Vader. But I'm not mad, and I should be more mad than anyone. I have every reason to be mad beyond belief. Okay, where nobody else does because nobody's been through what I've been through. And I try to alchemize it still and take all the negatives I've been through, the impossible things that I have to try to overcome every day, literally. This is the truth. I try to alchemize it into something positive. And that's why I'm saying they should have me, Batman, talk to these schools and be able to talk some sense into these people because that's what I want to say. All of what I'm saying with a lot more attached to it, you know, that would be easier on a podium giving a speech, but it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? It's literally not worth it. And that's my whole thing is it's just like, what are people so angry about? You know, because it's not just in Frisco, it's not just in Dallas or Fort Worth, it's not just anywhere, it's everywhere. You know, a lot of it has to do with the music that you all have let the youth listen to and all y'all listen to for so long. It's not music, it's garbage, it's pollution, and it's literally played at a frequency that's designed to throw your equilibrium off. I've seen crazy things happen on 6th Street and all over the country because, and I believe, connected to the music that we listen to as a people. Okay. And this is the thing, the government, their whole agenda is to create chaos, just like the Joker. That's why they have Jokers. They have agent provocateurs everywhere, right? And I'll get to this in a minute, but they create the chaos and then they pretend that they're coming in to fix it with their fake solutions. This is the system the government runs. The government lies to its people every day. The government is not our friend. They're our enemy. They have never been on our side. They never will be. That's just a fact of life. I could care less how they feel about it. Everybody knows this who can think. Okay. It's been proven so many times it's unreal. Now they're talking about the stock market bouncing back, by the way, because Trump, whatever his actions are, you know, driving the market down, it's not going to just bounce back and stay up. Okay. They're going to keep doing this. It's just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up, it'll always go up, then it takes a dive. I've watched it happen 2 times. And both times it took a dive, it had no mercy for anyone. You all can't say Bitcoin's a good investment. It's the worst investment ever by facts statistically. There's nobody getting rich off Bitcoin because if you held Bitcoin at any time, that stuff went to basically nothing forever. If you held on to it, how did you hold on to it unless you're saying you got another $1 million on top of the Bitcoin, which you all don't? Americans are liars. That's just the truth. Like I said, we're entering the greatest depression we've ever seen. That's what we're entering. Okay. On a whole nother level. This is why the egg price is going to $6 for a dozen. This is why you see inflation. This is why you have clothing at too high a price, right? So see, there's a methodology to how I move and how I do things. The way I do things makes sense. I'm not going to spend, 20, 13 bucks, okay, on pants. Shoes is like 20 something dollars half the time. I'm not going to pay that. I'm just not at all. It don't make no sense unless I absolutely have to. You see what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, but that's just the world we live in now. That's welcome to a recession and a depression. That's the way it is until I get my blessings from God and I get all my money, right? So, my whole point is, I mean, you know, people have to stop being naive. I mean, number one, like I said, the dude should have never had on him what he had on him in that track meet. It's inexcusable. And they should have already had security and been searching. And the question I'm posing is this: they've raised over $250,000 already on a GoFundMe or something for this dude's lawyer and his defense campaign to try to get him out of what he just committed in front of everyone. And again, look at what culture, right? And what group I call them. I call them groups to be politically correct on here because believe me, I'm not politically correct in reality at all. Okay. I'm about the farthest from it because you have to be. You have to call things what they are and you have to stand up for yourself. And this Austin Metcalf situation is a perfect example. Look who they targeted. They didn't target that culture. They want to call themselves the culture. They don't have a culture. It was replaced by ignorance. They didn't target them. Okay, did they? Nope. They targeted us. They targeted my group again. And that's all they ever do. These people will sit there, they play the you know what card, they pretend, they whine, they complain. And meanwhile, they're funding domestic what? And that's all they do in this country. There's underground illegal organizations like the Red Triangles that are very deep and have government connections. Some of them are getting locked up, some of them are getting caught. The feds, FBI may be cracking down a little bit. I don't know. But the point, it comes down to readings. I believe it. But the point is, we can't depend on that. Okay. People just got to stand up for themselves. That's it. You know what I mean? You have to stand your own ground. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what it is. Like me, I stand my ground. Doesn't matter where I'm at, what it is. This is my country. I do what I want. Feel me? And I just don't understand why people are getting into it so much all over the world. And I look at me, and that's what God told me. God was like, "You're gonna see all this stuff, all these people fall around you, and it will never touch you." That's what God told me. I'm just telling you the truth. That's why I keep my eyes on God, man. It's not out of fear at all. I'm the one that's itching to get into stuff. You know what I mean? It's just how I'm built. It's about this truly what I believe. And that's just what he told me. You feel me? I'm just telling you the truth. You know what I mean? He told me this and it makes sense, and that's why I try to bring people to God the right way because it's a real thing and it matters, man. It saves lives too, you know, precious lives. I mean, these are senseless things. That stuff should have never happened to this linebacker dude, to Austin Metcalf. It's inexcusable. It should have never happened. You know what I mean? Inexcusable. And if it was my kid, you know, I mean, I would have never had him in that position. I would have been around, and I'm not saying anything towards anyone with this, but I'm just saying if it was my kid, I would have been around. I would have made sure nothing like that ever happened. You know what I mean? Because I would have been paying attention. You know what I mean? And that's just how it should be. I don't understand how anyone would just let people run amok. You know what I mean? I understand when parents are like saying they want to homeschool now. I mean, I would too, honestly, because I don't trust the government and I don't trust any of your institutions. It's all a joke. You're not teaching them anything. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, I know way more than any teacher, for real, for real. You know what I mean? So if I want to teach my kids, if I ever have kids, if I want to teach them things, I can teach them things the right way and the actual truth instead of this rewritten fake history. And that's the way it should be because that way you keep them out of trouble and out of being around all these people. You think it's good? Yeah, it's good to socialize. It's good to go out and talk to people and have fun. But why can't they have some, be monitored? That's all I'm saying. If I have kids like Christina and I, if we have kids, which I believe we will, that's what I want to do personally. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't mind the school concept a little bit, but the thing is, the minute you put them in a school, you sign over your rights basically. You do because you're not around and you don't know what's going on, and it's not safe. It's just the truth. If you really care, I mean, you would be like me, as a parent, you would say, I'd rather just homeschool 'em if you can, seriously, because it's not worth it, man. It's really not. Like you can meet people, that's fine. You can have a social life, all that. But I want to know what's going on. You feel me? That would be my attitude because I'm not gonna be out of the picture to where something just happens and I'm aloof. And that's the biggest problem usually with these parents is neglect because a lot of them don't care. Now I'm not saying that they didn't. They seem like they did, but they probably had trust that something like this wasn't going to happen. It's probably the last thing they even expected, and that's not their fault, right? You know, and to the mother, I'm sorry for what happened. Seriously, I'm sorry. It's really sad, man. You know what I mean? Um, the other thing I want to talk about briefly, there's another situation. I forget the name off top. I was looking at it. It was this lady. She created her own little hoax, and for years had the husband and the kids believing her nonsense. And the only reason I bring that up, it's pretty interesting. She did this for like 6 years or something or longer. Okay. She ended up going to jail for it because she faked her own blah, blah, blah. Right. And that's another thing, too. If you people don't know online, if you fake your own anything, it's a felony. Okay. It's a very serious crime. You don't do that if you know how to think. Right. and you're smart. But my whole point is they, you know, basically they locked her up, right? They put her in jail for all that, right? And it's just I just want to point it out because it's about the manipulation um by women, right? The manipulation by women, the conniving thoughts and attributes, and just the fact that, I mean, look at that lady, what she did. I mean, she did all this stuff to herself. Okay. She claimed that something happened, right? She blamed it on two ladies that I don't even know if they existed. And she pulled this hoax for years. Okay? Lied to the entire family, had them all believing her nonsense. I mean, if that doesn't show and exhibit that so-called women are out they mind, I don't know what else does. You understand? And like literally, the you want to know the truth? The truth is 9 times out of 10, the more attractive they are, usually comes with the craziness. Just being honest. And I think a lot of it has to do with that because of the attention that they get from whatever dudes or beta simps or whoever, right? And I think they just start looking at everyone and everything as a label. And I think it has to do with childhood trauma as well, things that they go through. And I've noticed that as a trend too, which is just sick and disgusting that these parents are all you know what, because every person you meet, especially if they're a so-called woman, I mean, they all seem like they've been through crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And I just find that sad that nobody does anything about these actual crimes that get committed, right? That's the part that confuses me always. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like the mother said. In this case, she said the dude was mad, and now this happened, and she said it doesn't make any sense. You're right, it doesn't, and it's sad. And what I'm saying is, how do we know if these people raised $250,000 plus that quick? They're going to raise more to fund this dude's defense campaign. Not saying it's going to do much or have an effect. I mean, that's crazy, man. They're funding you know what in this country. And that's what they've been doing the entire time, is funding you know what over and over again, right? This is getting kind of weird. But yeah, they're funding you know what over and over again in this country. And they're using these GoFundMe campaigns, right, to do so. And I mean, that's just the truth. It is what it is. You understand? I don't know what else to tell you. You know what I mean? And that's what they do, is they fund it in this country, right? And they just basically repeatedly do it. I don't know if Trump has ties to it. I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure any president has ties to it, right? But I think that's what happens in this country. I think most of this country is run by these illegal organizations tied to the black market, the red triangles, the government. I think that's what it all is. You have to remember, John F. Kennedy, when what happened to him happened, JFK was trying to shut down, I believe, the CIA. So if the CIA is corrupt and you see movies about it all the time, then it should be self-explanatory. Diving into another subject real quick. Wasn't there a scene in a movie, I don't know if it was Spider-Man or what, where he's going against the lizard and the lizard ran from the bells or something or whatever in a church or something? Can somebody, well, you're not going to be able to let me know, but I think that's a real thing. And it's crazy because I've been looking at these reels and stuff online, and I'm looking at it, studying it, and it's telling me that and talking about that. It's talking about how basically, how do I put it? I mean, it all just makes sense. Reptilians exist, man. I think mermaids exist. I think vampires exist. I think everything that they talked about has to have existence. If not, why would they talk about it? You understand? So it's like, at the end of the day, that's a real thing. I found out that the reptilians, they don't like bells, and the Tartarians, which was the old society and culture, who created all these what I call Cabbage Patch dolls, meaning Cabbage Patch was actual human beings. It means us. This is how they populated these 7 continents. Tartaria was the previous civilization before us. Okay, Tartaria, they had cell phones already. They had like bicycles that are way more like technological and advanced and better. They had things you can skate on. They had all sorts of stuff, bro. They had scooters. They had all that. And I think that Batman, the concept, has a lot to do with Tartaria, because I think, and that's what I'm trying to access and find out, is the hidden knowledge, basically, of whatever it be, the occult or whatever, more of it, to where I can figure out how to build my own inventions that can move like that and do those things. When those wheels flipped in the movie, it's possible, man. Anybody who says that's not possible, you're just silly and foolish. It's just that simple. You feel me? So, I mean, like I said, outside of that, I mean, people are just weird, man. Like right now, these people, they just weird, man. It's just the things they do are weird. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird. Like it's not normal behavior, number one. But number two, we live in a free country, so I could care less. You feel me? Hey, I exercise my rights every day, man. I'm gonna be who I am. You know what I mean? I'm not online lying like Tone Space. I don't got to. I'm about to go in on him, don't worry. But I'm just saying that's a real thing, man. The reptilians, they can't handle the bells. And I thought about doing that as Batman. I might have some bells that I keep on me because half of y'all are reptilians. If you're a narcissist, you operate with the reptilian part of the brain. That makes you a reptile. I don't care what nobody says. They're they're 100% walking among us, okay? And that's what's been happening. Yep, hold on. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I don't care what people think. I don't care what they tell themselves, right? Um, and I mean, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Other than that, like I said, people on this network, they're just mad because I'm completely unfazed and unbothered, right? And like I said, it is what it is, man. They ain't doing nothing. I mean, I just don't get it, bro. Like, what is your point? You know what I mean? I just noticed that with narcs. Oh wow, that scared the hell out of me. It's a little kitty. Meow. He came like a bat out of hell. Is he nice? Meow, 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 meow. Hi there. Meow, 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 meow. Let him be. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, all these concepts are 100% real. All right. And I just think people need to get educated and informed about what's going on around them and reality. And the more informed you are, the better off I think that you'll be and will be as a whole as a country. But it's just crazy to me, man. Like Texas, people don't get Texas is wild, man. We built different in Texas. It's just the truth. And the system, it just salivates at the mouth, waiting for us to make a mistake. That's why I pulled the reins all the way back and I changed because I knew I had to. That's what y'all don't get. Like I'm one of the most like just upbeat live wires there is. And I still am. I'm still the same person, but I figured out a way to do it the right way where it's positive and constructive and helps people. That's why I do what I do. You feel me? Um, because you just can't run around like being a gangster and on some crazy nonsense. You can't run around like that no more, man. Especially in Texas, bro. Texas, they gonna throw the book at you every time. Every time, bro. Over little stuff, bro. They hand out life sentences in Texas like candy. Y'all don't understand. This is not a game out here. Okay. So that's why, like, people online, I don't have any respect for you. If you're someone who plays games, we'll never talk. You understand? I'm gonna say it again, man. I don't know why this person, whoever they are, they already know they're going to prison. They're already going through enormous amounts of karma. They've got nothing going for them. They don't own anything. They don't have anything. They're not doing well. They're seeing me succeed, and they keep going and finding another video on my channel to type to themselves on. Yeah, and you heard me loud and clear. So don't pretend you didn't. You're wasting your time. Go ahead and waste your time. I'll never see your comment. You'll never talk to me, as I stated, right? Until we get in court. And in court, I mean, you're not going to be talking to me. You're just going to, we're going to have the court trial and then you're going to go to prison. What you're looking for is bait. Like I said, all you're doing is helping me to clean up the channel. Pretty soon, there won't be no more videos left for you to comment on because you're going and finding them where they're all the way my old videos. I'm not going to take the time to filter through and delete the comment sections on all of them. So you're basically doing part of my job for me. You're helping me. See, every time you're trying to do something, you're just helping me. Like it's that important. Can you imagine somebody being that out of their mind that it's that important that they type some delusion that doesn't even make coherent sense in English to a person they don't know nothing about, don't know, did everything to try to stop and drag down and stop me from succeeding and living and being happy. And I'm everything that you said that I couldn't be. Everything that you said I wasn't, I proved to you that I am. Yeah, there's no more talking. See, that's the thing with you narcs. You start stuff and then you want to keep talking delusion. It don't work like that. Once you get your delusion proven wrong, that's the end of it, boy. And then you got to just sit on that and take your L. And that's where we at. You got to hold your L now. You feel me? So, like I said, some of us, we're built a little bit differently. Feel me? Some of us are the real deal Holyfield, right? Facts always echo forever. Facts are all that matters. Like I said, this is a free country. Just like right now, I can go where I want, do what I want, walk where I want, say what I want, do whatever the hell I want, and you can't do nothing about it. Nothing. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how nobody feels. Feel me? Like I said, a lot of these people, they be weird, man. Like I said, all of them gang stalkers. All of them. They all weird as hell. Like how you gonna, if I'm walking, right, how you gonna walk like right next to me and just keep walking while you like on a phone or pulling out a phone? That's not weird and suspect. If I don't know you, that's weird, right? Okay, exactly. That's the type of stuff these people do. This weirdo stuff, bro. Nonsense. Like they ain't got nothing better to do. You feel me? And that's the way a lot of them be. A lot of them be agents. Like I said, a lot of these people, they took money from Carly Fiorina, allegedly. I already know they did, though. And I got full proof of it. Yeah. No, y'all been paying people off at these little supermarkets and everywhere. I know what's going on, bro. Y'all ain't fooling nobody, homie. You feel me? So, like I said, I'm a million steps ahead of you. You feel me? So, at the end of the day, right? My shoe is stuck on my jean. At the end of the day, we just gonna keep on doing us and keep winning, and it's just about that simple, man. I could care less how anybody feels. I exercise my rights every day. I uphold the law, and I'm Batman, and everything I do is, about being an outstanding citizen and helping people and spreading love and positivity, and that's it. And that's why people like me. I'm a positive role model. That's all you'll ever see from me. See, you'll never see me get out of character because I'm too well trained. These narcs don't get in the process of trying to whatever agitate me. You just train me better. That's all. You're not controlling anyone. You've taught me things I need to learn for my safety and for my future and for my well being. Look at everyone in the world, man. I see people taking losses every day. I see people honestly losing it all every day. It's all over the internet. Every day, the internet is like Russian roulette. Like, there's millions of people in the world just losing everything because of one day. To me, that's just heinous and crazy, man. You can't live like that, bro. You got to build an environment where you positive and you away from that stuff, where you ain't got to deal with all that. And that's what I did for me. That's why these people, man, I'll never have those problems. If somebody rolled up on me right now and ran their mouth, I wouldn't care. I just walk away. Like, okay, whatever. You feel me? When you happy and you at peace within yourself, the devil can't shake you, man. Real talk. And all that other stuff, right? It happens in all sorts of environments. It could be the hood, it could be the suburbs, right? But you gotta work on your aura, your energy. When your energy is powerful enough and people see how you move and they see like, yeah, that dude got some power in him, you'll feel it. You can't fake that, man. It'll protect you from a lot of stuff. It protects me. I don't ever worry about nobody doing nothing because ain't nobody ever gonna do nothing, not to me. You understand? Because, people don't even have to know who I am. You can just feel it in my aura. Like I said, like when I was walking down that strip in Louisiana and New Orleans, remember the random dude came up, like the ghetto dude? He was like, "Man, I know who you are." He kept saying, "I know you," right? Kept saying, "I know who you are," right? That was because of my aura. That was because of my energy. You feel what I'm talking about? You see what I'm saying? Like I could just read energies. I'm sensitive to energies. I could feel people's energies around me, even if they're not right in front of me. Like the guy I just saw, kinda, he probably had a bad day. That's what it sounded like. It just seemed like that. The energy feels that way. You can actually feel energy. Especially if you telepathic like me, I could feel energies. I could feel energies through phones. Straight up. That's why, like, you people on here, you just pathetic to me. Oh, I got your energy completely read and figured out. You hilarious. You just sit there, you know you a coward. You ain't never gonna do nothing. So you get online and you type fake intent you're not capable of towards me. That's silly, man. It's a waste of time. Narcs want you to get upset because they're mad. They just want you to feel what they feel, and they're trying to get you agitated because it's the devil. The devil, the way he gets you off course and not focusing on what you are throwing off your focus and your equilibrium, right, is by getting you upset. Think about it. It's become the new game. The truth is that factor was always there. It's just the new generation, the new age brought it out more because they're all cowards. That's the truth. It's not a good thing. It's not anything to be proud of. But if you learn, it's going to teach you something you need to learn. The game is not about being tough no more. You want to be tough, you work on being tough on your own. The game is about spirituality, and the paradigm in the world is changing where the future celebrities and celebrities of today will be the chosen ones like me. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's not chosen ones, it'll be spiritualists. It'll be spiritual people. That's going to be the future. That all this other stuff, it's irrelevant. All y'all don't matter. I'm just telling you the truth. You don't matter. You know what I mean? Be real talk. You do not matter at all. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a wealth transfer going on. The wealth of the wicked, all the way. It's not their wealth to begin with. They're gonna have to cough up everything they stole. That's what's happening right now, and give it to the righteous, which is me. It's happening as we speak. It's all coming. You feel me? So, like I said, people better wake up, man, because at the end of the day, reality is reality. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't changing for nobody. And it just is what it is. You feel me? So, last thing I want to say. Oh, let me go in on tone space real quick. Tone flake. Okay. Tone space. Let me explain something to you. First of all, you're homeless, dude. Everyone knows, right? Well, nobody knows who you are, but you're homeless. Stop saying, "Oh, I left this at my home." You don't have a home. You haven't had a home ever, right? You're usually in a Section 8 little apartment that other people pay for, the government pays for. It's guaranteed. You've never worked, right? You literally could not afford a hot dog. You still can't. It seems like you don't eat. You're sitting there copying who I am with your words saying that you work out. You ain't never worked out. You tried to go to Platinum Fitness, boy, and you looked like Gumby on on them weights. Okay, you flabby like Larry Holmes. You look like a stick. Okay, I want to get your mind right real quick with the facts. Steez, stop disrespecting Steez. I'm gonna stand up for Styles right now, just like I always did when he was here. Okay, this is sick. Okay, Steez has two shows on his channel right now, completely going in on you. He couldn't stand you. Okay, because you're fake and you're phony. And even though he kind of worked with you people and took the bait and sold his soul, he did not like some of you. Okay, and you were one he couldn't stand. He said that you suck at rapping, right? Go listen to the shows. They on the channel. They got almost 1,000 views. I'd be rewatching them joints. Straight up. I love how he went in on you. I listen to all that stuff. Like I said, I listen to the Bobby Manning channel on the regular. Oh, I love Steve's content. You feel me? Because he said a lot of truth. You feel me? And I'm gonna give it to him, man. He was kind of like the Tupac of the sector, and y'all should give him that credit, man. You know what I mean? It's really sad that like that one comment said they said they didn't appreciate him when he was here. Yeah, you didn't. So isn't that just worse to say that? Like, come on, bro. Y'all are ridiculous, man. That's why I'll never have friends like y'all. With friends like you, who needs enemies? See, that's the kind of friends they are. They can't ever let something be. They got to keep on talking smack and making things worse. That's what they do, like for a living. It's unbelievable. You feel me? So, yeah, at the end of the day, um, it's just inexcusable. It's sad and it's unreal. You know what I mean? But no, Steez went in on you. He said the truth, how you were biting off of him, how you're not a rapper, how Necro played you. Necro doesn't give you any shine or attention. All facts still stand. You never were tough. You've never been into it with anyone. What are you talking about? He said that too about you. He said you never showed up for nothing, which is a fact. You ran from me in Austin, and everybody knows. Like, dude, you're a walking contradiction, bro. All you do is get online and just like spewing hot garbage. I don't understand, bro. What are you talking about? And for the last time, that whole thing with the two individuals you're talking about, it never happened. You're totally lying and making up lies out of thin air. There was nothing that happened. Okay. The Mike dude, he was drunk. and that's all that happened. And he fell. It's on the tape, bro. Oh my goodness, bro, you were ridiculous, bro. I'm sick of hearing you sit on here and literally act like you're reading a script, bro. Are you that out of your mind, bro? Do you really, you can't see a tape? You can't see when nobody is doing anything and somebody falls because they're drunk? This dude's serious right now? Like, who gives y'all this script, bro? Like, it's getting old, man. How many years are you going to sit there and talk like you're a delusional teleprompter saying things that don't exist? So, Tone Speaks, you're homeless. You always have been. You own nothing. You have nothing. And no, you said that you would get a laptop charger and return it. You said it's not a broke thing. It is a broke thing because you broke. You don't have any money and you never have and you never will. And you're talking to the financial connoisseur who, like I said, owns beyond billions, trillions in equity still and is the only self-made trillionaire ever exist and made millions every year consecutively. Okay? I don't want to hear nothing from you. Just be quiet. All right? I'm getting sick of you. Real talk, bro. And quit talking about you got a sponsor, bro. Like anybody's going to sponsor a channel that gets no views. And talking about Alex Jones. Yeah, because Alex Jones was a snitch. The man who inspired me to do radio and was a real American and looked like my dad, dressed like my dad, William Bill Cooper, is who inspired me to do radio, boy. And he called Alex Jones out and called him what he is, a sniveling coward. Okay? Yeah, you would be sponsored by that coward. Alex Jones. Alex Jones is a joke. And he ain't from Austin. I run Austin. It's my city. Run and tell him I said it. It is my city. I ain't never seen him there. He don't come near me. That boy hides from me in Austin. Straight up. Alex Jones, he be ducking me. I'm in the streets in Austin. Yeah. Thorough. Yeah, everywhere. I run Austin. Austin, my city, bro. I never seen Alex Jones out there. Nope, not when I'm around. That dude's a coward. He's an agent, agent provocateur. He's just like y'all, sold his soul. He's not real. He doesn't do anything or educate anyone. That's what the Illuminati does. They talk about what they do in front of you because they wanted people to know. Because if not, everyone ignores them. They're pathetic. Yeah, that's why you got defeated. You, your Freemasons, your witches, covens, the entire Illuminati. You got defeated financially by one man, Tyrese Need. Do something about that. Okay, so no, the truth is you're homeless. You always have been. You always will be. You'll never be able to even afford a hot dog, right? You've never succeeded in anything ever. You can't do music. What are you talking about? And you're committing channel, you know what? Because you don't even care about your channel, and I'm gonna get that channel taken down, straight up, because you just sit there and you just keep on saying things that are crazy that aren't allowed on this network. And I don't know what's up with Google and YouTube. Google was rolled in a legal organization. They let these people say crazy nonsense on here. They enable this behavior, and when I take them to court, they're going to have to pay me millions for it because you can't do that. You can't run an illegal organization and be in on it with the red triangles, and that's concrete proof of that right there. Nice move, Tone Space. You're real smart. You just told on yourself and said that you're connected to Alex Jones. Easy. Easy, man. These red triangles, all they do is tell on themselves. They snitch. He can't even hold it together for 2 seconds. He's just literally like deficient. He can't hold his act together for 2 seconds. He can't stay calm and not rat on himself on what he does. He's weird. And you ain't tough at all, bro. Like, come on, bro. You look like you weighing 60 pounds. Real talk. You look ridiculous, man. Other than that, Jamila needs to stop coming on here talking crazy just because it's sick and disgusting and it's weird. Like I said, she's just filled with spite. And she's just like y'all. She's trying to exonerate herself. And I heard the things you said about God. And like I said, I have a major problem with it. I'm going to stand up for God all day. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be honest, Tone Space. You looking like Jamila right now. You look thin and frail. You feel me? That's all I really got to say about the situation, man. Just keep my name out your mouth like you've been doing. Good boy. And keep everybody's name out your mouth because you're nobody and you don't even have an identity. You don't exist. In what plane and what realm do you have existence? You're nobody, bro. Talking about a sponsor. You don't have a sponsor. What you do is you beg for chump change and you sit there and be a good little, you know what, for everybody, just like you do for Necro, and get nothing out of it. You constantly get played and used and manipulated by everyone around you, just like all these people, just like Skeletor on here, just like Red Pill, just like all you who keep my name in your mouth when I never mention your name. All of you, it's just unbelievably pathetic. And you're all cowards. Y'all already got defeated. What's goody? What's up? Yeah, you watching the Don be successful and get all the views, and I'm a superstar and a celebrity for real, and I made it. Now all I got to do is find opportunities and recreate the cash. And I'm straight. That's a genius because I got targeted and they tried to take half of everything I own and forced me basically to spend all the money, which then I made millions back every single time, and I'm gonna do it all over again. Christina is negotiating for millions. We're gonna have millions of dollars. I got to get my inheritance that all these people stole. That's probably in the millions, right? So what are you talking about? And I'm in the middle of a stock settlement lawsuit for the stock that I had over 70,000 shares of that you literally stole the information of the name of the company of the stock I invested in. Correct? Right? So come on, bro. How can these people be talking about my stock investment and then act like it's a problem for me to talk about what I just invested like all my work earnings for years into? Like that's just crazy, son. That's absolutely unbelievable, bro. There's more nonsense. So, like I said, at the end of the day, people gonna do what they gonna do, man. I don't really care, bro. I don't care what people tell themselves. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people feel. I'm not here for that, man. I'm here to do what I want to do. Feel me? Like I said, it seems to me like in this country, people just try to hold each other back. Y'all against freedom. It's just like this. Y'all act like freedom is like you're allergic to it. Like, yeah, we have freedom to do what we want, walk where we want, talk how we want, do whatever the hell we want. It's my country. It's America. And if you don't like it, you can gladly leave my country and it'll make it a better place. You know, this is America, home of the free, home of the brave, and it always will be. You feel me? And the truth is that cowards like that, they need to go find another country to live in. Straight up. Like real talk. We don't want you in this country. None of you. I'll tell you straight up. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. None of you. And like I said, when I get to Austin and I get this money, I'm gonna take my city back from all them people selling them gyros and their shawarma. Okay, because they trying to low key, passive aggressively take over my damn city, and I'm not having it. Okay, so like I said, man, if you checked, I mean, it kind of seems like I run everything, which would mean my group and my culture and my people run everything. So just be quiet and that's it. You feel me? I don't care about none of these folks, bro. But yeah, bro, quit talking about steez. Let the man chill and be, happy. Hopefully, that's all we all want for him. If you're good people, and that's it, man. Shout out to steez, man. Nothing but respect. You know what I mean? Despite the fact that he slandered my name and said whatever, we forget all of that because it's about forgiveness. That's how you know I'm a real man of God. Like I said, shout out to Steve's, man. Nothing but love. And, you know, I wish him the best, man. Truly. You know what I mean? But yeah, he didn't like you, Tone Space. You can go to his channel right now. His show, both shows go in on you, and I'm gonna listen to him again. They hilarious. He made a fool out of you, bro. And that's your way of trying to get back still. That's just crazy, man. The people telling you what they told you, that's the truth. Quit trying to change the truth. It's pathetic, bro, that you got that much jealousy in your heart, bro. You know what I mean? For someone who Steez can't even defend himself, bro. Man, you're the meaning of coward, bro. You got a weird relationship with your computer, bro. I suggest strongly you get the hell off the internet right now. That's what you should do. You need to get off YouTube. Straight up. Get out of here, bro. We don't need that on here. We don't want that spirit in this network. Straight up, bro. We trying to make YouTube a network for God, like everything. You feel me? And I'm not even going to say that because we know what territory we in, man. We know who runs YouTube, the devil. Feel me? We don't want YouTube, bro. Y'all can have it, man. To be honest, but like I said, as long as I'm here, we gonna bring God to your platform. I do better numbers than all y'all. Y'all can't do numbers. Y'all not monetize. I make more money than all y'all. My next check already around $90. What's up? What's goody? You got something to say? We out here making money, homie. Running the streets. Like I said, I got state troopers and officers pulling over, smiling, rolling down their window. Right. And these are young guys too. And they talking about, hey, can I take a picture? I'm like, yes, of course. You know what I mean? They showing me love, Tone. You feel me? That's the position you wish you were in. You wish you were in my position, and you wish that you could be like a player. Me, I'm committed. I'm with Christina. I'm a one-woman man. Always have been. Always will be. It's just crazy how narcs want your life. They want to be like you. You know what I mean? You will never have my life or be me. There's only one of me. Just like you wanted to be Styles and you never will be. Styles had real talent, man. It's sad that he didn't get to reach his potential and it's because of him. It's his decision. It's his fault. Sorry, but it is. He didn't. Well, he had tons of opportunities. I offered him a record deal for $1,000, and you people are who's to blame for what happened to him and everything, because he would have had mad opportunities if it wasn't for y'all discouraging him and enabling his nonsense. Had he listened to me when I had that 60 grand and I went to Vegas and all that, right? And sold the BMW 6 Series, the coupe that y'all talking about, right? I didn't lose anything. I sold it, boy, for a good amount of money, right? So what are you talking about? I got good deals on all my stuff. I know how to buy, sell, buy low, sell high with stocks. I know how to flip product. I know how to build a company like that. That's why I'm so successful with this one. Like I said, we about to print another check over $100 threshold on here, while these people talking to themselves in a four-corner room that ain't theirs, mooching, they squatting, tone space, you squatting, bro. Like I said, talking about when you get home, you don't have a home. Boy, stop that, acting like you got two spots, bro. You on somebody else's strength over there, and you lucky they even letting you do your little videos talking about, oh, I got a laptop. It's a Lenovo. I got a MacBook. Yeah, all somebody else's stuff. None of that stuff's yours. You keep showing little material possessions because you're trying to brag off other people's stuff. Let me explain something to you about me, Tone. I'm really the guy who had money. Mike Mills doesn't have money, never did, never will. And guess what the world's about? You all side with the devil. Satan is about materialism, homeboy. I'm about God. I'm about the spirit. I'm about ascending. I don't care about material, bro. Materialism, I manifest wealth. That's nothing. I don't care about material. You understand? I manifest wealth in anything I want in this world, all right? If you listen, you will learn from me how to do so. I'll talk to you later. Stay mad, Tone.